So that is Donald Trump at one of his golf courses, Trump Doral. It's hosting the Saudi-run LIV Golf tournament, which is apparently big money. I don't follow golf, so I don't know anything about it. Not suspicious at all. But anyway, that's not what I'm interested in, or the crowd. No, I want to zoom in a little bit on what he was holding up, because a bunch of people were holding up the same thing. Yeah, that's a Playboy. And if you want to zoom in a little bit, zoom and enhance, no, what the cover actually is. It's a particular Playboy. It is the March 1990 Playboy, which does indeed have Donald Trump on it. Now, this isn't like Time Magazine where he had to Photoshop himself onto it. He really was on the March 1990 Playboy, and he's apparently very proud of that. Apparently, later in his life, Hugh Hefner regretted giving him that position, but he was on it. And if you'd like to pick it up and join that crowd, who there was like 3 or 4 of them floating around for some reason, it will cost you about $68. That is a lot. If you'd like to save a few bucks, I can suggest a different book for you though. It's the God Bless the USA Bible, just $60. So you save yourself a little bit. Maybe that could cover the shipping or something. No, but really, jokes aside, I love the juxtaposition of those two things, because I will remind you that Donald Trump, who is in reality a money-hungry guy who wanted nothing more than to be on the cover of Playboy or whatever and cavort with models. That's who he was. That was his actual life. Is now branded as being literally Jesus. And I mean that quite literally. He himself is constantly tweeting the comparisons between himself and Jesus. And certainly tens of millions of Americans believe that he is the second coming of Christ. But he's the Playboy guy. He's the guy running around. Now, yes, sure, he's hawking Bibles now, but he's the guy who's having the barely hidden affairs and paying the hush money and everything. And I just don't understand how they don't see any sort of inconsistency in this.
Before we continue with the story, we depend on members to keep on going. Don't wait, click join now on YouTube.
And I don't even just mean like the general lifelong inconsistency of taking this guy who has worshiped money and sex, I guess, his entire life, and now pretending that he's some sort of Christian idol or something. But even like the specific hypocrisy of he's waving around Playboys in front of a crowd that includes children, when you guys imply that the mere existence of a person in drag is a threat to all of the children of an entire state. He's waving literal pornography around. How does this not bother you guys? Doesn't bother me. I don't think that pornography is inherently threatening or whatever, but you guys pretend to. Could you be a little bit consistent? Now, Yaz, what do you make of this? Again, we've been talking about this general topic of the inconsistency when it comes to religion and all that, but what do you think?
Well, I was kind of thinking about the last story that we just talked about, and I wanted to add something kind of in relation to that one, but also this one. There are plenty of Christians or otherwise religious people who believe in things that sound absurd to non-religious people, and they enact policies based on these beliefs once they get into positions of power, like our American Congress, right? Several Republican Congress people, for example, have outright stated that they are not opposed to what Israel is doing in Gaza because they believe that their actions are fostering the second coming of Jesus. And when Jesus comes back, he will see that all of these Republicans helped him to come back, and he will be grateful, and they will go off into the sun with Jesus. But Trump is their imperfect vessel fostering that second coming. So Trump can say or do or stand for whatever he wants. They do not care. It's bigger than him. Trump is just the vessel. They don't care. They see the hypocrisy there and they do not care about it.
I understand that. I'm glad that you acknowledge that. And if that's your approach to politics as a Christian, then that's fine. Again, it's kind of making a mockery of what you otherwise would present as your like core values, that you're allowing power to go to a guy who doesn't share any of them, but that's fine, you can do that or whatever. But then also stop sharing the memes of him supposedly praying or him marching with Jesus on one side and a tiger on the other or whatever. Like you can't have your Messiah and eat it too. Like that's what I would say. But anyway, that said, I haven't read all of the Dune books, so maybe they figured out a way.